Hello and welcome to another IC3D tutorial. In the past week I've been working a lot on these diaper bags and a lot specifically on UV mapping the diaper bags. So I just had a couple tips that I wanted to share with you guys. The first tip I want to say is always structure your window set so that it's much easier to use the UV mapping window. So what I mean by that is what I like to set up my scene up is if you hit the UV button, it should open up here. Now, sometimes it'll open in a window, or it might open in a docked window. Now, what I like to do actually is I like to hide both my transform and my lighting editor, or pretty much anything on the right side. And then I like to actually dock this right next to my OpenGL window. Having the two views right next to each other like this is perfect for constantly looking at the UV map, and of course, editing that map as well. And on a plus side, if it's just UV mapping, you can also hide the model library or the material library to give you a lot more view and room to work with. The next thing I want to show you guys is a little bit about the alignment tools. So once you're inside of the UV editor, if we scroll in and say we want to align a whole bunch of points alongside a whole bunch of other points, there is actually a tool that allows us to do this very simply. So the first thing we have to do is align our vertical set of points. And to do that, we just grab a set of points like so. And we go over to our alignment tools and select the vertical kind of alignment. That'll align all of the selected to the single point, so they're all nice and straight. And then we can do the same with a horizontal line right at the bottom here. And then just flattening that out. Once we've flattened the bottom, horizontal, and the top, our vertical, what we're going to do is we're going to select first the vertical, and then we're going to select the buttons underneath our alignment tools. And this is set horizontal and set vertical selection. For the vertical, we're going to set for the vertical selection, and for the horizontal, we're going to set the horizontal. So what this is going to do for us is using this as our horizontal and this as our vertical, everything in between these points are going to align to the horizontal and vertical selection. And all we have to do is, once they're called out, select this little grid, and that will load up a alignment, and once it's done, we'll have a nicely aligned grid. Make sure to align both your vertical and your horizontal lines, as that's where they're going to position themselves and line up. And then once you're done and you want to make a new selection, just simply hit the refresh, and that will cancel all of the selected, and you can move on to, say, another portion and do the same thing. The next thing I want to show you is a little bit on the Vertex Tools. It's right underneath our alignment tools. So the Vertex Tools are really great for merging or ripping apart different UVs. And what I mean by that is, say we wanted this UV here combined with this UV on the right side. What we'd have to do is just putting the UVs on top of each other really doesn't combine them. So what I like to do is I like to put them quite close, grab both of our points, and for our weld distance, normally I actually just increase this up to 1. That allows you to weld wherever, but be careful because if you have a lot of different points selected, it's going to weld all of those. So the weld distance is good to have for just 1, but again, you have to make sure that you're not selecting, say, a random point over here. But once you've got your 2 points, you just simply grab them, and the tool here will weld the UVs together. The next thing I want to show you are selection sets and showing our selection in the main window. A lot of times when you're UV mapping, you're going to want to have a lot of points selected, but you may need to edit another portion and want to go back to that specific set of selected points. To do this, all we have to do is select those points that you'd like selected, like say this one. Go down to your selection sets and simply hit the add button. Here we can add a quick selection, I'll say this is the top, and hit save. From here we can continue to work, move points around, anything we need really, and then when we're ready to move that selected points again, we just go to our selection sets, hit top, and then go ahead and hit select. All those points that we had previously selected will be selected again, and this works even if they're on top of other points. So here I have a really hard time selecting these points. If I go over to my top, hit select again, I can then simply grab those and move them away. And of course, while we're in the selection, the display options at the bottom here can be extremely helpful. My personal favorite option is the top one, called Show Selection in the Main Window. What this is going to allow you to do is, with it selected, this will actually show you where your UVs will appear on your model, allowing you to completely understand where your UVs are at and where you need them to move so that they can align and show that best artwork. Thank you so much for joining me, Adam Chop, in this wonderful small UV editing tutorial. And again, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.